Bram Weinstein is the play-by-play radio voice of these Washington Commanders, who are hosting the 2024 Army-Navy game. And Bram, what is the significance? The second time this game being played in Landover.
It's huge. I wish I could be here. I mean, the Commanders are actually going to be in New Orleans, so we have to travel, but again, we can't share the field, obviously. It's a great honor to have the game here. I think it's one of the great spectacles in sports. I think it is one of the great moments of the calendar year in sports, and I think it's a celebration of our country through sports. And that's why, I'm sorry I'm not going to be here to see it in person, but I'm glad I'm connected to it today.
What about that military honor and connection stands out to you?
So, like for me personally, my father served in the United States Army in World War II and was a Bronze Star recipient. And he didn't talk a lot about his service. He didn't want to share, I think, a lot of the memories that he had from serving in Europe for the Army. But we're very proud of his service. And so any connection for our family back to this game, the Army, the Navy locally, obviously, as well, it's very important to us. And I think that this is just, it's a conglomeration of our culture, football, and the military service and the pride in our country. And I think that's what makes this game so really special, personally to me, and I think to everybody, which is why people make this an event that they have to feel like they need to be a part of in some way or another.
Having covered many sports events throughout your career, what is the most memorable military sports event you've either witnessed or called?
So I went to an Army-Navy game in Philadelphia years ago. I can't remember the exact year now because it all kind of meshes, but the spectacle of it is really amazing. I think what happens on the field I know is probably important to the players and the military academies, but to all of us who are just kind of watching and enjoying it, I think it's just a moment to celebrate our country together, and I think that's what makes it so special, obviously, to me. I also get to work with the Military Bowl, which is hosted at Navy Stadium every year, so that's a great honor to be on the sideline with them and all the dignitaries that come through and the teams that come in and what that purpose is for, because these are two schools that are not, ever really directly affiliated to the military, but all the money gets generated goes back to military services and helping ailing veterans, and I'm very proud to be part of that as well.
How has covering Washington football shaped your perspective on the football culture and fan loyalty in the DMV?
So I grew up here when this team was a dynasty and was one of the 3 or 4 best teams in football. In the 1980s, they went to 4 Super Bowls. They won 3 of them. It kind of shaped what I wanted to do for a living. Football became religious almost, Sundays in my house. I'll never forget going to an NFC Championship game and driving through the city after they had won to go back to the Super Bowl and everybody's outside. It just was connective tissue for the whole city. It was a heartbeat of the city. And so I always knew I wanted to be part of it. I knew I wanted to be part of this specifically. Like, we're a great sports town. We love our teams. But there's nothing like the Redskins football team Commanders. There's nothing like that in terms of what resonates with everybody and brings people together, especially when we're having seasons like this where it feels like it's kind of turning back into a really great upward trajectory.
3 decades in the business, and you've had some amazing stops. You keep coming back to D.C.
Yeah.
Why?
I love living here. I love my family's here. We love living here. It's got everything. You want the beach, you want the mountains, you want the lakes, you want a great city, you want food, you want diversity. It's all literally here. And so I've been around everywhere, and there's plenty of great places to live in the country, but I don't think there's any place better than Washington, D.C.
Bram Weinstein, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.